Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Ant, I'm usually mute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, is my camera working good too, Ant?
Hey, here we go, Steelers.
Oh my
Is my
god!
camera
I
working
forgot
good too?
about this episode. I didn't know we were gonna start like this. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know. I didn't.
You know what?
Yo,
I should have
you
brought
put him
my
up to this.
Super Bowl towel down with the 6 Super Bowl titles on there.
You
That's
put him
it.
up to this.
No,
Valencia, you put him up to this.
Yeah, hey, we're the world's best team.
What can
6
we say?
bowls, 6-time, most wins. Here we go.
First to 6. Like, what do you want us to do? What should we not be proud of it? Should we? I mean, what can I say, Ant? It's
I don't know. Did Russell Wilson eat his Wheaties?
Hey, he snapped out of it.
Oh
I
my
mean, he didn't
God.
look like the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, man. He looked like an actual quarterback last game.
You know why, though, right?
Why's that?
Because he's playing with the real team.
What can I say? Listen, it's don't worry, you'll have your time, but today, here we go, Steelers. Here we go.
Boo, boo.
So look,
How much money you putting in the swear jar?
so look, we've already started off the rails. Before we go any further, I've got to introduce my friend and my favorite personal trainer, Valencia Higgins. That's VBigBalla 5, right, on Instagram of the vFit gym in Houston. Shout out my girl Valencia.
All right, I'm sitting here. I got my name in the background right there, and nobody's in the gym right now. Hopefully, nobody walks in during this podcast, but we'll see.
Fingers crossed. We also try to shoot for 90 minutes. We'll see how it goes. I think the shortest show we've had was 212. So,
oh wow,
we have fun on here. We have fun.
A lot of shenanigans. So, like, right, as a matter of fact, right out of the gate, we like to start with what we call this just in. So out of the gate, the first thing that shocked me was that Frankie Muniz. Have you seen this yet? Frankie Muniz is joining the NASCAR Truck Series. Your thoughts?
I like it. One, he's been talking about doing this since he was in Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. Like, let's just put it this way: his passion for racing is undeniable.
I love that.
I think he's gonna do well, man. It's not like he doesn't have the money to do it. I mean, he's an actor. Let's just put it that way. He's an actor, but he's also a human being that wants to go out and try something new. Let him do it. It's not like he actually doesn't have any races under his belt, too. I was reading earlier. He's got at least 10 races, and his highest he's actually gotten was 29th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So and you know, the Truck Series is almost, I hate to say it this way because it sounds like it's below, but the Truck Series is sort of like the G League of NASCAR to give you that feel of working every day in NASCAR. And, you know, we haven't quite gotten to it as much as we wanted to, but I'm a big fan of Bubba Wallace. My daddy raised me as a Ford fan, so everybody that was a Ford driver was like my dad. My dad loved like Bill Elliott, Mark Martin.
Fixed repair daily, driver returned on foot. Yeah, Ford.
This is going in and out for me.
Oh,
sorry.
No, okay, all right.
It's
Sorry.
okay. I know just a tad bit of the big name NASCAR people and all that.
Nobody really knows NASCAR anymore. It's a niche sport, but it's a fun sport, and if you've ever been, it is a blast. So that leads me to the one thing I was thinking about. So it's October, right? October the 23rd, and getting into it. So this week, right? Let me throw it up there for us. So this week, we have 16 NFL games, of course, 3 World Series games, 41 NBA games, 49 hockey games. That doesn't include golf, NASCAR, you name it, right? So to me, and on top of that, my son's birthday is also this month. And I love my daughter because she's the one who made me a father, but like I'm a man, so my legacy is my son and what he does with life. So October to me has got to be like one of my favorite months because there's so much sports going on, right? But there's also like April, January is a really great sports month. Do you have a favorite sports month yet, Valencia?
Well, I was just saying that actually to my mom the other day. I was like, this is a great time in sports right now. The NBA kicked off. LeBron played with his son. We're in the World Series with two of the most notable baseball teams ever. Hockey started, and football is great because everybody's predictions have been just a little bit off on football, except, the loyal fans. So October is like the last week of October.
Shots
is the
fired.
best sports. I like March as well too because I'm a basketball player. So March Madness.
Love March.
But yeah, this is a great time to be alive. And watching that game last night, the Lakers. As soon as Bronny Jr. came in, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this till he comes in and goes out, and then I'm going to bed. It's too late out here in Texas.
It's hard to be a West Coast team fan on the East Coast. I'm a Clippers fan. We play tonight. I'm not excited for this season, so we don't have to talk about pro basketball if nobody wants to. I'm sure nobody.
But we should. We should. We really should. We really should.
We can talk a little bit about it. I mean, we've just had 2 games. We got more tonight, so
yeah,
maybe predictions.
Super excited about the NBA. So the last thing on this just in, before we kind of get into our start. Oh, I didn't mean to solo. So actually, Valencia brought it up, but I wanted to talk about which we will talk about Bron and Bronny a little bit once we kind of get to the NBA portion. But also there's some crazy trades, and the deadline I think is the 4th or 5th in the National Football League. And as I was making graphics for one, like 3 more trades came in. And another reason why I love this time of year, because there's it's almost frantic with all the different trades and the roster shakeups. And like you said, Valencia, this time of year in October, we're a quarter, this is week 7 or 8 or something like that. And so, a lot of people had really high hopes going into the season, right? Anthony has been consistent in telling us that he's not fully on board with everything, with thinking that the Commanders are going to be, in the playoffs or whatever, because there's still a lot of football left to play, but there's been a lot that's already been played. And so there's a shakeup, and, we need pieces. The Steelers need a solidified second wide receiver. And
we missed our opportunity. Like, I woke up this morning, opened my social media, and the first thing I see is Kansas City gets another player. I'm like, we could have used him.
Really could have used him.
And I'm like, we got to play them in some weeks, Kansas City, and that's the team to beat.
That's because, that's because most Steeler fans believe this whole thing. We haven't had a losing season with Mike Tomlin. And well, guess what?
Since 2003.
It's been a while.
It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think, but I guess you guys are really good at picking up people.
I think more so.
I think the guy at the corner store is ready to try out for the Steelers too.
Oh.
Well, look. So the funny thing about it, though, you talk about picking up people and picking up pieces, or as Tomlin always says, jumping on a moving train, right? So the Chiefs, undefeated and great. They went out and got Nuke Hopkins. Good for them, I guess. Whatever because I think outside of Xavier Worthy and Sky Moore, I don't know that they have like a legit healthy receiver on their roster right now.
No, they don't.
Yeah, it's 2 of them, and then and somehow they still can't get the ball to Travis Kelce in the end zone, and he's screwing up my fantasy team.
People have figured Kelce out. So there's that. It took 3 years, but he's figured out now. And since they don't have anybody on the outside, him on the inside isn't going to kill you. They can focus in more on him.
Yep, you double and bring the bracket right inside. So, but no, this time of year is a fantastic time of year with all the different moves that are being made, and I know there's more to come. Like I said, we still got, I think, about 14 days. I know ironically, I think the trade deadline is close to like election day or something like that this year. So it should be super, super interesting. I know the Steelers are in the market. There's a lot of contenders. You know, I would think the Seahawks will be looking for more pieces. They traded Jerome Baker literally as we were coming on air today, and they get, I think it's Ernest Jones the fourth. They traded Baker and a fourth rounder to Tennessee for Ernest Jones the fourth. Just
the
more
Texans
pieces.
picked up White, that cornerback.
Yeah. Wait, which White?
He played. Remember, he played for the Bills.
Oh, look, Tre'Davious White. Yeah.
So the Texans got him.
Is he healthy?
Really good. I'm pretty sure he is, man. Texans picked him up.
Well, there you go. I mean, and there's pieces. There's all this talk about Cooper Kupp, and so that's my next go-to.
We don't need him on the Steelers. I saw that.
You don't want him? Okay.
No.
All right.
He's been injured too many times, and I feel like we're going to have to give up a lot to get him unless Omar can work his magic.
Well, he is the kind man. I will say that. So let's jump into my next favorite topic. The reason why I call this the Fanatic Sports Podcast is because fan is short for fanatic, and so I love the stories that come from fans. Valencia, tell us your fan story. How did you start following your favorite team? Now I know the best football team in the world, but you got a couple different teams. Tell me a couple of stories about your
I have
favorite
a few
team.
teams. So I'll tell you the reason why I became a Pittsburgh Steelers fan is I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Troy Polamalu went to USC. So I just followed him right on over. Yeah, and once he became a Steeler, we magically just started winning again. So that was the good luck.
Imagine that.
So
imagine that.
Since they drafted him, and he's my favorite player all time. I mean, and a little background about me, you guys, you probably don't know, is I played for the WFA for 2 years. It's the Women's Football Alliance, tackle football. I played out in the Bay Area. I played wide receiver and free safety. I wanted to play a little bit of strong safety, but I'm 5'11", 160 pounds wet. That wasn't going to work in a women's football. But I wanted to play like Troy, but I didn't have the body for it. But Troy's my favorite player. I cried when I got to see him for the first time.
Oh,
yeah. And then ever since, now I go to one Steeler game a year. I travel to see my team. I pick a different stadium every year. Luckily, they came out to Houston last year. So I didn't have to go.
That was a tough week. God, that was a tough week. That was
pretty bad.
But so where are you going this year?
I'm probably going to go to DC to watch the Ravens Steelers. So it'll be a road game for me, but I want to go and see DC now.
So you say road game, and it reminded me. So like I moved to, of course, I'm from Arkansas. Anthony actually still lives in Northwest Arkansas where we met. And so I moved to Baton Rouge about a little over 4 years ago. And so it's changed the way I see the game. So as you know, being in Arkansas, I went to a lot of Razorback games, football and basketball and baseball. But I never really got to go to any pro games until I moved down here. So being in Baton Rouge, I'm like, as a matter of fact, where I'm from is about 45, 50 minutes from New Orleans, actually. So I've seen the Clippers a couple different times, and I'm looking forward to seeing the Steelers down here, but I definitely want to travel as well. I need to go. I actually need to go to Pittsburgh. I was scheduled to go last month, but
well, you know what? They're coming. I mean, we're going to the Super Bowl, so let's plan on for the game. You just got to drive straight down.
Yeah, it's a short trip.
Right on over, and I'll be okay.
well, it's only a 4.5 hour drive for us. It's gonna be great.
Right.
Sorry, I had to leave for a second.
What happened, Ant?
Hey, we looking good now. We're making folks nervous because defense was already.
This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers show. What is going on here?
Oh, we're gonna
It's
talk
2 against 1.
We're gonna eventually get into your WNBA. That may be our next segment is the I told you so, and then you can have your go. So, but yeah. So to my point is that we actually have it's when you're on the road, like it's a different because so even as when Arkansas came to play LSU in baseball, like. And there was a spackle and spattering of Razorback fans. There's actually a ton of Razorback fans in Baton Rouge, which it always shocks me. I get all happy to see the slobber hog on people's cars and so forth. But it's fun. It's fun, but at the same time, it's like kind of funny. Like you're cheering when everyone else is booing. So like you hear a moan and you go, oh, I was looking up from my phone, look down at my phone. Good news just happened. Like it's super, super funny. But it's a blast to be on the road, and especially in the college level down here. They are very, very passionate, obviously, about their Tigers, but they're also like super, super nice, and the tailgating is fun. The tailgate it's good food here, so the tailgating is a blast. What about your favorite? Now I know you're a LeBron fan. And as am I, he is my favorite player, just not on my favorite team. So it's kind of a love-hate relationship for me. Talk about your favorite basketball or WNBA team, and then we can get into the LeBron, how you became a LeBron fan as well.
So for a long time, I was a Dwayne Wade fan. I still am, but he does a lot of questionable things. But Dwayne Wade went to Marquette, and I played college basketball as well too. I don't know if you know, I played college basketball at Prairie View A&M. It's a HBCU.
Yeah.
So I had a huge crush on Dwayne Wade when he was at Marquette because he was pretty normal at Marquette.
Sure.
So I just followed him along to Miami Heat. So Miami Heat is my team. I still root for them. Yeah. And then when LeBron did that announcement show about coming to Miami, I had my popcorn ready. I was ready because I knew he was going to choose Miami. And I was already a LeBron fan. Like, I'm not a hater. You either hate him or love him.
Yeah, but that's no in between.
You're one of the greats. People hate you. People love you. Whatever. It's fine. So when he chose Miami, I was like, you know what? This is it. I'm in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic.
But as far as like for the women's basketball, growing up, the Houston Comets were my team, but there's no more. So now I just follow the sport. And, you know, a lot of times in the sports group, when I used to talk about the WNBA, everyone used to be like, oh, we're not talking about that. Nobody cared. Now everybody loves
everybody,
which is just crazy.
Yeah, which is perfect. And it's, you know, like, so the thing with Caitlin Clark, and she's kind of the catalyst behind this. I will admit that I'm not oblivious to the fact, but it's not just Caitlin. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure we would know Caitlin if it wasn't for Angel. And that whole fiasco with her in the ring, and it was really, really wild how it all came about. But it was for WNBA, the WNBA, it's got to be the greatest thing that's occurred is being seeing this drama and this, you know, ignite. Sadly, it invokes so much like, portions of racism and portions of, classism and everything that's involved with it. But at the end of the day, the good news is that the WNBA, they signed what was it, $2 billion extension. And do you remember that early this year?
Yep.
That's fantastic. And I got a daughter. Like I said, I have a daughter. So if she decides to get into sports, yeah, I'm all for it. It's I definitely want to see, women's sports grow and be able to see the, because I'm as a sports junkie, I love the fandom of this thing. I love the stories that come with it, because we talk about Angel, we talk about Caitlin. There's not enough being said about Rakea Jackson. What's the Russian girl's name we talked about last week that from your Liberty, Aunt? That was like the 6th woman on that team.
You talking about the German?
German.
You keep saying Russian. Why do you keep saying Russian?
I don't know.
This is the second or third week he said Russian, and I have to
week.
correct him every
Them
Third
Russians
week.
are big, so maybe that's why he was thinking.
She's a big girl. She's 6'6" or so, but she can ball, man. And like so, and we're about to get to it, man. Like the WNBA is on a huge, rocket ride right now. And so, thinking about the expansions that are coming up, have you had a chance to follow those closely? Portland starts. So no, it's Golden State's this year, I believe. They're the 13th team.
Yeah.
Portland will be next, and then I want to say they're going to be at 15 by 26.
I think Houston is trying as well too.
They need it. Like Houston's won the most rings, if I'm not mistaken. Like that, I think they won the first 4 championships. Like right. I don't understand how you let a team fold like that. And as I play minor league football, and so I've worked with building a team as well as building a conference, and so I know what it means to put in that kind of work for a team, and especially in their fledgling years, like the first 10-15 years, the way they have kind of struggled to get that vision, those sorts of things. It really is important that you help teams maintain, and that it's been poor the way it's been done so far, but at least they're correcting their ills and fixing it and getting better at it. So I really hope to see the Houston Comets come back very, very soon, hopefully by the end of the decade.
Right.
It would be pretty dope to see. Like you said, they held it down 4 years straight, and then you take a team away. It kind of hurts the community when you take a team away. It's like, it's like what you saying, they're not marketable. Like, I mean, like it bothers me. Like, it really does bother me how communities real quick and easily turn on, like, can turn away from what a league or a basically camaraderie, like, of like business bringing down to Houston. I don't know. It just it bothered me a lot when they they weren't there anymore. So it'd be really nice to see another Houston team down there. Mm-hmm. I love WNBA. Sue Bird's one of my favorite players of all time.
Hey, mine too.
So it's fun for me to watch, and it's great.
So speaking of WNBA and your WNBA team. Well, wait a minute. I got okay. All right, now we're ready.
You got to do it right. You got to do it right. You got to announce. You got to announce them as I told you so.
Okay, so
the 2023-2024
WNBA champion, New York Liberty, did defeat in 5 games.
As I said,
and our very own angry Puerto Rican, Anthony Roman, did make it clear when he said that not only were the Liberty going to beat my Aces, boo, but also the Liberty did win the World Championship. And well thought out, outstanding series. There was a bit of controversy at the end of Game 5.
Of course, we're gonna call that. Look, man,
I mean, that call gets called in any level of basketball, like that bump. So I was like, well, if you're gonna call it in minute 5, you got to call it the last few seconds of the game. Yeah. As long as they were keeping it consistent the whole game, it's fine.
Nah, I listen. My team left weeks ago, so whatever occurs is.
Look, I'm just tired of the people coming out and they doing this whole thing where they're like, "You robbed the championship from me. It was never yours to begin with." Like
they had their moments to win that game. Like they were up.
Oh, big facts, big facts. Mm-hmm. You sit back and you watch the way the game started. You're like, okay, Minnesota's got this. Wow, man, they coming out strong. They came out strong in that first quarter. Like they smacked the Liberty in the mouth real quick. And I was like, whoa, composure, girls, you got this, composure. I'm sitting here at work yelling at the TV, composure. You've been doing this all season. I got people looking at me at the bar. Like, what is wrong? And I'm like, look, I'm an avid New York fan. All right, stop while I'm pouring a drink, for a customer at the bar. I'm like, guys, man, it's just great to see, man. I'm really, really excited. It's one thing, I can say that New York has over LA.
a WNBA champion, the first of what may be many. And so again, this is the beauty of what's happening in the WNBA right now is that you look at the stories that are finally starting to come to light. You look at the W itself, the women who are getting to report those stories, who are also intriguing. So a lot going on in women's sport. And so we're really, really excited. We actually, our guest last week, JT, shout out to JT. We're going to get to him with the Dodgers soon and talk to him again about the Dodgers. We talked a lot about, actually, I don't know if you got a chance to check it out, V. We talked a lot about women's football and, the leagues that were, that are in play and some of the things that are going on there. We talked about the importance of, having guys, having the right demographics start to get their eyeballs on women's sports. It's a right. Fantastic thing that we get the chance to do, and so it's very, very cool to have you come on. And I didn't realize, I knew you were athletic. I didn't know exactly which sport you played, and so and to tell you a little bit, just to bring you up to speed on us. So I met Valencia online in the sports group, Hoops Jargon, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a group. It's a lot of folks from like Houston, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because the founder, Cliff, I went to school with him. He's originally from Houston. He lives out in Los Angeles now, but there's a lot of folks in Houston because this is where he's from.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why there's a lot of Cowboy and Texan fans in that group.
So the funny thing for me is the funny thing for me is I want to say that so a friend of mine, shout out my man Doug just invited me because we talk sports all the time, and that's how this podcast came about, right? Is that we talk a lot of sports all the time, and so it went from talking trash on to in friendship to life happens and we grow, and it went to talking trash online and saying, hey, let's video this sort of thing. And so Doug added me to a couple different groups, and I know there's like a New York group, and then of course I always remember the Houston group with HJ, and so definitely shout out to them. And I know he does. I know there's quite a few sports journalists inside that group that right. have their own thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to working with them as well. But so of course, like minds tend to chatter together, and so of course she's a Steelers fan and I'm a Steelers fan. And then when basketball season comes around, we both have to vehemently defend LeBron, and so and so the groups turn into factions. It's either you hate LeBron or you love him, and there's all the support, and so you just kind of become friends that way. And so leading, this is a great segue. It's almost like I planned it this way, but right into the really coolest thing that Valencia does. She's a personal trainer, along with rooting for the best football team in the world. And she's actually the best personal trainer in the world also. So it's kind of these sorts of things tend to go together. But one of the things I saw that was very, very cool, just, following her on Facebook and, watching, as she's grown throughout our friendship, is that she owns her own gym down in Houston.
That's dope.
Yeah, very, 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 very excited. So now I want to get to that last, but along with this gym, she also works with her own charity, City Feet. Tell us a little bit about City Feet.
Yes. So City Feet to Beat Obesity is a nonprofit program that I have here in Houston. I also have a chapter in San Antonio, but the program is for people who are morbidly obese, meaning people who need to lose 100 or more pounds. So I have workouts for them throughout the week here at my gym, also in San Antonio. I have a trainer that's helping me out there, Texas Muscle and Fitness. I also have a psychologist for my program, Dr. Kanitha Fry. And then I also have a nutritionalist that they can meet up, because part of the issue with people who are morbidly obese is not that they like to eat food. It's they're eating food to cope with problems that are in here. So if your brain isn't healed, if your mental isn't healed, then you're never going to lose weight. So part of the problem is people use food to make them feel good, and you end up gaining a ton of weight from it. So that's what my program is for.
That's beautiful. That's awesome. So super, super excited to get the opportunity to work with, this thing has been nothing but really, really fun times with people that I'm already friends with, and we made a couple friends along the way. Just the internet is made the world a small place now, and so it's very, very dope to get to make friends, even though we've never met in person. Like I definitely consider you a sister and a friend, and it's really, really dope to get to work with people who do cool stuff and make money off of it. They help the world with it. This is the blessing that we get. But look, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, just to keep the shenanigans to a minimum. We got more. You're gonna be back with us for a little bit longer, right?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I have until my next client's at 4:30. So
we got plenty of time. Nobody wants to work that long.
Nope.
So we got the big baller VBigBalla Valencia Higgins here with us. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. We'll be right back with you after a short break. Don't go too far. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. I'm your man, Blocker. Man, look, it's already been too much shenanigans as we started. I do have the angry Puerto Rican with me. And she probably went to go. She's actually at the gym as we're speaking. So as you can see, well, you and I can see it in the background. It is the vFit gym down in Houston. We're definitely gonna have her talk a little bit more about that. But while you're in the area, if you know Houston is close to that Delta, man. So we gotta send a shout out to our good friend Leticia Talamontes. Down at Astro Ford in D'Iberville. Look, so if you're thinking about upgrading your ride, you're in luck because I got the inside scoop, the best car salesperson in town. That's Leticia Talamontes and Astro Ford in D'Iberville. She's your go-to car person for all your car buying needs. Whether you're in the market for a sleek sedan or a reliable SUV, Leticia has you covered. With her friendly smile, her expert knowledge, she'll definitely make sure you drive off the lot in style. So why wait? Head on down to Astro Ford and ask for Leticia today. You'll be glad you did. I know I am. Give her a call today at 228-275-FORD. That's 228-275-3673. Or you can stop by the Auto Mall. That's 10350 Auto Mall Parkway in D'Iberville. Go see Leticia at Astro Ford in D'Iberville today.
Wow.
Man, a good time, right? So
always a good time.
Listen, we've been talking a lot about all of our favorite sports, right? The second religion of the South is college football. And then right behind it is pro football. I feel like you feel like that, right? You feel like college still kind of has the pull over the pros, right?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I gotta mute it. My fault. Say that again. I had you muted.
Oh, I said out here in Texas, football is football. Like it's basically Friday through Monday. It's all football. Even high school is so big here.
Yeah, huge. So well, first of all, so tell me when you came out of Prairie View.
So I came out of Prairie View in 2006. I'm old.
No, God, don't say that.
I'm 40. I turned 40 in January.
Oh my goodness. I turned 40 in March and Aunt's already 40, which is crazy.
Young pup over here. He's a young pup. It's all right.
So I want to say my cousin, because the Kappas down there, their chapter's called the Zoo. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
It might be, but I wasn't really keen on fraternities and sororities while I was there.
Yeah, they probably had you trapped in the gym, I would imagine.
That, and I feel like a couple of my years, some of them were suspended just because of
Yeah. Yep. Apparently some hazing has been abolished. Kappa Alpha Psi is a non-hazing fraternity. So I asked, my cousin was at Prairie View, and I want to say he was there during those years. So he's like a year older than me. So he graduated in 2002. His name is Carmichael Jones. If that name sounds familiar with you, but
I was there from 2002 to 2006, so for 4 years. So we probably overlapped.
Sure, you probably saw each other quite a bit.
And I think while I was there, the enrollment was like 8,000. It's way more now.
Really?
Yeah, when I was there, it was 8,000. It's got to be at least 10 to 12 now, I would assume.
Yeah. So I'm gonna veer off schedule a little bit. That probably shocked you, Aunt. But talk a little bit about the HBCU movement and growth right now.
Honestly, I think for me, or in general, I grew up in Southern California, so I went to school primarily with white people. I had no issues with it. I didn't go to an all-black school until I went to college, and when I got there, I was like, whoa, this is like nuts. This is crazy. It was just a different experience, but I think right now, the HBCUs, as far as enrollment, is growing, but our sports, since our sports are going down because people are going to places where they can get these NIL deals.
Yeah.
And I train a college athlete, a golfer that goes to Rice, and he showed me the little NIL app where you can do something as little as put a picture of yourself with a Starbucks cup and make $30.
Wow.
But at the bigger time D1 schools, these players are getting paid, and at the HBCU, which is D1 AA, they're not making any money. So basically, if you can't pay them to play, we're going to lose all of our kids to these PWIs.
Wow. And so the crazy thing is, I saw what's wrong, bud? I saw a really great post talking about, how, in the 50s, things, before segregation,
Right.
HBCUs had, that was actually the more competitive, league of sports, collegiate sports, because obviously the more athletic players were going to HBCUs, long before, the Alabamas and the Kentuckys of the world were, able to dominate, and they won a lot of rings, of course, but a history that's almost lost at times is the HBCUs. Living down here in Baton Rouge, I've always been familiar with it. UAPB is a HBCU,
Right.
in Arkansas, and so that's my HBCU of choice. But in down here in Louisiana, it's very, very popular. The Bayou Classic between Southern and Grambling, the Sonic Boom between Southern and Jackson State, and football. Just the level of artistry that the bands put on, as well as it's unmatched, and it's unlike anything else. And even if you go past the sports era of this thing, and you start talking about just the people of color who work at the institutions and what it means to get your education from someone who looks like you and from someone who has been through the struggles that you're going to go through, and hopefully one of us does something that makes the struggle a bit easier for the people that come behind you. So, the HBCU world is awesome. I was sad that I didn't get to attend school there, but it's probably for the best. I didn't do so hot in school, where I could be focused, where there was less chance to get in trouble. I couldn't imagine what it would have been like if I would have gone to HBCU. But it was way more fun than I needed to have. But I'm super, super grateful to be in a area where it's so lush. It's like 2 hours to Jackson. It's like 4 hours to Houston. There's like 3 or 4 different HBCUs down there.
Right.
But just a ton of it's just, surrounds us, and it's beautiful, and it's wonderful. And getting to see the different fans come in each week at my job is like really, really cool. I really, really enjoyed that. But yeah, so there's my tangent on the HBCU. I'm a big, big fan.
I'm so happy that there's light now than it was back in the day. Back in the day, there wasn't the light on HBCUs, and
Yeah, that's right.
now you got like First Take going and doing a show at SPU, HBCU college, and they're doing that at shining more light. I love the fact that Stephen A. decided to say, "Hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. I want to bring this here." You bring in Cam Newton. And it brings a lot of light, and I'm actually enjoying it, man. It's fun to see. It's fun to see.
And I just wish, back in the days, a lot of the players, Jerry Rice, Walter Payton, you can go on and on. These guys came from HBCU. So imagine right now if we took the top 100 Black players out of the PWIs and put them, just, spread them out amongst the SWAC conference, the MEAC. We'll be able to play with those guys. We'll be able to play with the big teams. Until that happened, it's almost like the separation was good. But when you start, 50 years ago, you had the Alabamas and the Georgias saying, "Hey, kid, come here. We'll give your family $20." The NIL stuff, it started way back then. We just have a name for it. They paid those players back then, the Alabamas of the world, to get those Black kids to go play for them so that they can put people in their chair, because that football, there is a movie with the HBCUs and the whole how we switched over to the PWIs. The PWI football was not good. It wasn't entertaining until they got them Black kids in there.
That's dope.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's beautiful, the story that as it comes to light. And I'm never gonna shun segregation. My mother grew up in segregation. She was born in 53. Shout out my mom. She turned 71, a couple weeks ago. She talks constantly about what it meant for us to be able to desegregate and come together. And then I grew up in Little Rock, so I grew up underneath, you know, the Little Rock Nine, and it's well documented, the story of the folks and how they were treated and the things that happened, but what came from it and the beauty of it all now. So I'll never shun segregation, but one of my favorite African-American history members is Carter G. Woodson, and he talked a lot about what it meant to be able to have our own thing and why segregation was necessary, but what the ills that came from it as well. But it's beautiful to see what the HBCU has done, and I'm super again, like I said, super thankful to be in this atmosphere to where I can experience it now in a more responsible way, I would suspect. But it's a love story. It's gorgeous what it does. So, but look, I want to try to get back on schedule. Before we do that though, and I gotta share a couple comments from Instagram since I finally got my Instagram comments rolling.
Nice. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Yeah.
The NBA is likely to commence an investigation into 76ers surrounding the player participation of All-Star center Joel Embiid.
What? Rock chalk?
Oh gosh. Okay, so wait, because he announced that he won't be doing back-to-backs, or
I think so. I don't know, man. That's just crazy to me, man.
the fact that he won't play back-to-backs is kind of weird to me. Like that's a big thing, but it's going to be a massive investigation, and it may look. This might be the happiest thing I've heard you say about the NBA all year, because if they investigate Joel, you got to know that right down the list is going to be Kawhi, and you know, we've lost 4 years of our present, and probably another 5-6 years of our future for Kawhi. And I mean, I got to be honest, man. I'm a fan, and I actually like Kawhi. I'm a big fan of his game, but I enjoy his game on the court, and I know he's very adamant about, you know, his injury versus hurt and making sure that he can last long term. But like, he spends so much time off the court that it's aggravating as a Clippers fan, and I'm a Clippers fan, so I've already had enough. Like, come on, bro, please help me. Like,
right. If you're injured, it's one thing. You know, like if it's injured, it's one thing. Don't come back until you're fully healed. But to be taking a break, I just think they should have a rule for if you want to sit. I think if you've been playing 15 years, which is crazy, then you can be like, you know what, I'm gonna take a night off. I understand that the fans want to see you. They pay a lot of money, but anybody that's done their career in sports for 15 or more years, playing 80 games, say you were not injured, but playing 80 full games and going to the playoffs, playing in the Olympics, but you know, that's a lot on a body.
That makes sense. I can live with that. And by the way, like, one of the things I know about, so like you take a LeBron's been in the league this is year 22 for him. And obviously he spends a lot of money to take care of his body, as you would have, as what makes a lot of sense to me, and that's why he's been, you know, healthy. Well, I don't have to knock on wood. If he doesn't play, it doesn't matter to me. but like, you know, he spends a lot of money to take care of his body, and so naturally, he's gonna, you know, if he needs a night off, I can understand that. Like Kawhi is 32. I think he turns 33, but that's still kind of your prime now in basketball. And yes,
he don't need to be. He's been out his whole career. Ever since he left the Spurs, he's been out.
It's been a lot. It's been 6-7 years of it. So for me, like, I really hope that if they investigate Joel, then I hope that, you know, that Kawhi is right behind him, and hopefully they do something. I mean, you can't force a guy to play. I get it, but
SAWFT, soft. That's pretty much what that is to me. I'm sorry. Look, you know, I love watching KG, you know, when he talks, man. And he's like, man, this is your job. Your job is to go out there and play. You know, there was no taking off, and he basically said it. You can't sit here and talk to me about your error and our error, because our error, we played. Your error can't play
all the time.
And that's the thing, and it bothers me, man, as a fan of the game, as a fan of the sport. It bothers me that I can't get there, and I'll be like, yo, man, I'm about to watch Joel Embiid play. And he's going to dominate tonight. No, I got to hear on the news, I'm not playing back-to-backs ever again.
Dude,
What?
that's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Like, how do you even have that right?
Crazy. It's so crazy.
I went to last week. I went to the Rockets and San Antonio game, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go so I can see Wemby. And then I get to the game, and I'm like, it says that he's not playing. I'm like, I came here to see Wemby in a preseason game, and he's not playing. He should be playing. He just started his career. Yeah. Like, why is he resting in the preseason? Some kids and families were there because the tickets were $7 a ticket for like preseason play. So those fans, because they're not going to be able to afford $300-400 tickets, per person as a family when you're playing. But I was like, oh, let me just go and watch Wemby. I don't really care about the Rockets. I want to see this person live. I'm sitting 9 rows from the floor. I can actually see how big he is. And he didn't play. So I left after the second quarter.
Don't blame you. Do not blame you. Like that. And that's the thing. And I remember, so I had a friend of mine, and this was 1997 or 98. A friend of mine and my uncle both had gone to Chicago to see the Bulls play. And I want to say like, so they didn't go to see MJ. They went to see, it was like Bulls versus Lakers, regular season, something like that. Whoever they went to see was hurt. He got hurt the night before. And so naturally, fair. Take the night off. Do your thing. But it's so common now, right? Like back in 97, you could even blame the guys that I think they were there to see, like, I forgot who it was now. I think maybe AC or Van Axel or somebody like that. And so whoever it was they were there to see, they got hurt. You go and get to see them, understand. But now, when everybody's saying, they had to put a minimum number of games required to play to win an award. It's like, it's not even 80, it's not even 70. It's like 65 or 60 or something. Like, it's one of those things where I never want to say it's just a game, because
it's smart though on Joel Embiid's part. I get it, because the rule is, in order for you to get an award, you have to play 65 games in an NBA season.
That's right.
Okay. If you look at it, those back-to-backs, that's 14, 15 games right there.
Yep, sure is.
So now you got a player who can, play 3 times out of the week instead of 4.
Yeah.
Got a guy that's getting extra rest to sit there and be able to maybe score and have an output to maybe have a chance to win another MVP award, because he played 65 games. He's learned to play that threshold. That's like an employee trying to figure out how to take time off before they, like my job. I got a lot of, there are people, my manager says it all the time. She goes, these kids, man, these college kids, they know the system. They know how to get that day off.
Yeah, well, that's what.
And it's smart. Like, it's smart. They're like, oh, well, let me get this extra day off. I'm still going to make the money I'm making. I don't know, man. It's just, I really hope it gets investigated, and I really hope they do something about it, because it's destroying the league. It's destroying the NBA.
It's really tough. People spend a lot of money to get to these games, so we want to be able to see our favorite players. I was thankful that the games that I've been to against the Clippers, actually the entire team played. Kawhi played. Paul George was playing, of course, while he was there. Everybody's there. The first year I went in 21 to see Memphis, and so I got to see Ja Morant. And so, that's the thing about it. These stories, Ja Morant is a special player. And so, I really hope that he figures this thing out, how to stay on the court. And, injuries happen. There's so much specialization in today's sports world. You talked about you played basketball, you played football, there's so much that you are a well-rounded athlete. Whereas these days the kids are doing the one sport from 7th grade. And so there's a correlation to it, and I'm pretty sure that everyone's kind of seen it. If everyone hadn't seen it, I'll have to find that article. There's a correlation that talks about the specialization, especially in football, running that same route, using those same muscles. And V, I know you're very familiar with it, with the way the body works.
Yeah.
Doing those same muscles, it leaves so little. Like, you start a clock, and the number of times you do it, it just happened. This past weekend with Deshaun Watson tearing his Achilles, there was nobody around him.
Oh God, that was hard to watch because his calf buckled. So, seeing his calf break down like that, I feel like that might be a career ender. Like, he's not going to come back strong from that.
And it's been a downslide since he left Houston anyway. So
you want to talk about freakish accidents, man? Talk about that freakish play with Chris Godwin on Monday.
Yeah, that too.
That ankle. Yeah. Oh my God! Like, you sit back and you're just like, ow. But you don't see these guys taking. Here's my thing. But you don't see guys in the NFL taking back-to-backs off or I'm taking the day off. I'm not playing today. Your fans came to see me. This is why I love watching that show Receiver. Yeah. They want to get out there and they want to play. Justin Jefferson, he went through that injury and he said, man, there were so many times he wanted to go out there and play, but he wanted to make sure he was best for his team so he can come out and play. But it's kind of dope to hear it from his side. Like, yo, man, your fans came to see me play. They came to see me do the gritty. That's why I do it. I don't understand why in the NBA it's so easy for you to take off and do this. Like, when did the sport decide that it was when did these players decide it was okay to do this?
You know what it is?
They put more games up, right? I mean, in the 80s and 90s, there were 60 basketball games, right?
Yeah.
And they were more spread out. Now you have 80 games because, just like football, we've added games. We play on Thursday. We play on random Saturdays now. You're thinking about money. What can make me money instead of what can make my players happy?
Right.
So
and that's the question you got to ask too.
That's the very money pit. Why play on a Sunday and then play again on a Thursday? Do you know after you play a football game for 2 days after that football game, if you get hit, your body feels like a train wreck.
Yep,
and then
absolutely.
After the train wreck, you have 2 days of recovery or 1 day of recovery, and then you're playing again on Thursday night football.
Yeah.
And then you see subpar football on Thursday nights. Thursday nights football is always trash football, right? Because those guys, you really do need a full 6 or 7 day break to recover your body. And then we wonder why we have injuries because we're playing on turf. All you see is the little pebbles coming up. What happened to playing on grass? Like, if you look at the injuries, like turf versus real grass, the stadiums that still have real grass, you'll see there's a lot less injuries, but they want to make the game faster. You make the game faster, people get more injuries. And then you get better stats, but you get more injuries. You get what I'm saying? So it's the science behind it all as well, too.
And it makes me question it. They talk a lot about player safety. I wonder, do they care as much as they say? It's clear. It's very clear. So, I want to get to these comments. You're gonna love these. Before we go, we're gonna take another quick break, and then we're gonna talk about football, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the best team in all of football. But I did so Spider jumped on and he says that New York Knicks no K 1K sucks. So and then my man, shout out my man Rod. Definitely can't wait to have him on here. He's a hooper. My man Rod said that we automatically have beef now because we're Steelers fans, and that's okay. Because if you don't cheer for the best team in football, I can't do anything about that. I can only help myself. But tell us before we go to break, give us a quick shout about our favorite salsa. You definitely gotta try this You definitely gotta try this angry salsa.
If you like it, man. If you like salsa,
is it local to where is it at?
Where's it at? Me, I make it.
By hand. Yeah, by hand.
Wow.
Homemade. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll have to get those details.
I'll give you the deets. All right. Well, if you get ready to have your taste buds ignited by Angry Salsa, this is in your ordinary salsa. It's packed with fiery flavor that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Whether you're cheering for your team or snacking while watching the game, Angry Salsa will add a spicy kick to your game day experience. Grab a jar of Angry Salsa and take your taste buds on an exhilarating ride. Angry Salsa, fueling the fire of flavor. Become a happy Angry customer today by contacting me, your very own Angry Puerto Rican, Anthony Roman today, and I'm hit me up anytime. Valencia, I got you. I got a pineapple mango. I got a spicy. I got a devil's breath. I got a mild. You tell me what you want,
Okay, perfect.
and you
So
could be a
look,
happy angry customer.
I'm gonna take you up on that. I'm gonna order some.
Bet.
So we're gonna be right back on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. After the break, I'm very excited to talk a little bit about why Mike Tomlin is well compensated. Have you seen that yet?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he makes the right decisions.
that's perfect.
That was fun.
That was fantastic. Well, this is the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
You
We
hear
got
that,
our
Onyx? Oh, he sleeps. See, he ain't pay attention to that. He ain't hear that.
we got the greatest personal trainer in the world, Valencia Higgins, with us from vFit gym down in Houston. Stay with us here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. I'm your man, Blocker. I got the angry Puerto Rican with me. I got the world's greatest personal trainer, Valencia Higgins, with us. Right now, I got to tell you about my people over at Arkansas Premier Paralegal. One of the best there is. I feel like Trump the way I'm saying everybody's the best. But if you have any legal trouble, I can tell you who to go to. Just like Trump, who probably needs some legal help shortly after this vote in November. Arkansas Premier Paralegal is an independent contractor located in Northwest Arkansas. They specialize in divorces, expungement, unlawful detaining, and criminal defense. They provide negotiable pricing for both private attorneys and the general public. With over 10 years of experience, they are capable of assisting with your legal needs in a professional and courteous manner. So you can give them a call today, 479-684-6248, or you can just search them on Facebook, Arkansas Premier Paralegals, right there on your screen. That's Arkansas Premier Paralegal for more information today. So I was
What's up? What's up? We back.
Listen, man, this is the coolest thing we get to do. Normally I'm not a costume guy, and I usually just go with the straight black. I had to bring out my favorite Steelers hat. And
terrible towel. Here we go.
So look, let's start. And as a journalist in a football, we'll see y'all after the bye, as a matter of fact. Oh, we should all get together after the bye.
Oh yeah, is your quarterback going to be back? Those ribs going to be healed?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll see what that look like by week 10.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So I want to talk a little pro ball, but before I do, I gotta talk about because I've been saying it for 3 years, really. And V, I know you can relate. I liked Kenny Pickett. I thought Kenny Pickett had a lot of promise, and I thought with the right offensive coordinator that could teach him, and Tomlin's big on the education. That's his thing. I was of the mindset that he could have become a great player. I said the same thing about Justin Fields. Justin Fields is just faster than everybody else, which makes it work for him. But I was excited about Russ because I think what we saw, which by the way, Russ was rusty because he was like, 15 to 29, right?
It has been over a year since he played football, right? So
yeah, absolutely. So this wasn't the craziest part of this is 267 yards, two passing and one rushing, which it was just a quarterback sneak. I almost kind of hate to say it as a rushing, but it was indeed a rushing touchdown. But 3 total touchdowns. And this is what as soon as they said they were bringing Russ in, even before he signed, I was like, hey, Russ threw for 3,500 yards in 26 touchdowns last year in 13 games. We scored 29 touchdowns in 17 games. So There's no way that this isn't better. But, it's just one of those things. It's the thing that I saw Sunday night was, a veteran presence, a calming factor. Like, I think Justin will get to that point. I've said it all year long, and we haven't had the opportunity to see it until Sunday night. But, well, I can remember one play in I think it was the Cowboys game where he got knocked out. He had to come out for a game or for a play, and Kyle Allen walks in.
I was like, who the heck? I was like, what is going on and where is Russ?
Yeah.
That's what...
Well, and I guess he was supposed to be the
emergency Allen used to play for this team.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and Kyle Allen came in, he ran 2 plays. I won't forget this. So the first play was like a toss play or something. It went like 3 yards. And then the second play was a laser up the middle of the field, the Pat Freiermuth. Or no, I'm sorry. It was a short pass. It was a short but decisive pass that was intended for Pat Freiermuth. And then Justin came back in. And when Justin came back in, immediately he breaks the huddle quickly, comes out and darts up Pat Freiermuth right after that. And I think the thing is that Justin just needs to be shown, hey, it's really simple when it comes to this passing thing. You don't have to think about it. Like, and that's, if you can go on YouTube and look up a lot of different people who are breaking down Justin's play. Yes, he was.
Oh God, I saw it and I was like, oh my God, he's missing players. Like the big throws down the field. he's missing guys. That's what Kenny Pickett was doing. That's why when
thing.
Tomlin was like, we're going to make the switch, we're leaving too many yards out there on the field. And that's why Najee is running east and west and not north or south, because it's easy when they know we're going to run. We can't throw the ball upfield. And look, Najee, the last couple of games, it was easy because we were getting the ball upfield.
Yeah, it's simple. And so, you know, the game of football is one that's not, it's not rocket science. It is a beautiful, you know, the ability to think about the game and how you see the game. But this isn't hard. This is a great team game. And so for me, I enjoy to see the easy decision, you know, like, and, you know, you look at some of the things that Justin was missing, and I think he'll start to see these things. I think watching Russ, as Thomas says, in stadium is going to make Justin much better. But so V, I'll start with you. Talk a little bit about the things you saw Sunday night that really impressed you in our win over the Jets.
So I think so. You know, because I play wide receiver, it's telling when a wide receiver is going to go get the ball if you know you're going to go get the ball. So just if you look at their start points from the snap, they know they have a chance of getting the ball, so they're going to run the routes the way they're supposed to be running the routes, as, oh, I probably won't get it, so let me not go as hard.
Yeah, you know, so to that point, it's funny you say that, because we talk a lot about as Russ dots up Pickens.
That George Pickens boy, he can be a GOAT status one day if we can get him the ball.
Well,
all them bad balls Russ was throwing and he was catching them, they were all short and he was making plays.
I mean, the kid's a playmaker. And so, but that's the thing, you know, you remember last year they talked about Juice Johnson and how he was throwing a fit and he went half hard on the play. George did the same thing. You know, there's actually been quite a few different players, receivers that have been known that have had those same things. You know, Washington was another that they talked about the loafs, the not wanting to run hard, not running your route hard, things like that. When you know there's an opportunity to get the ball, and I never played receiver, I wasn't fast enough, but a lot of my friends that were receivers said the exact same thing. If you know the ball is coming your way, you're going to work harder. And you know, Russ opened up a lot of things, and it made the defense look even better. Like, how much have we complained about Beanie Bishop the last few weeks? And I think it simply was just the fact that, I'll say it this way. You know, we talked a lot about we played against Peyton Manning a lot. And one of the things I thought about a lot, you know, Peyton Manning was never a defensive player, but he might have some years been the best defense that the Colts would ever have, because he was just so, you know, because he's a threat. If you got Peyton out there as your quarterback, and you remember when he went to Denver against Russ in the Super Bowl, you know, you think about it, they knew that it was going to be a dogfight because Peyton's out there. When Peyton came back out after he got benched for Brock Osweiler, who you're getting with Peyton, and that type of offensive threat makes the other offense think, oh, I gotta score.
Right.
When you gotta, and so now Rodgers is pressing and he's forcing balls that he shouldn't have been throwing, and Beanie was in the perfect spot, and just all sorts of things that, you know, the offense, there's something to it when you've got an offensive presence. We haven't had an offensive presence literally in 3 years, 2.5 years. And so it was the right move, you know, and I said it for some time that Tomlin was not wrong to let Russ, you know, start when he got the opportunity. Tomlin was smart to get him in there. And it's, you know, this is a move towards the future for Justin to see how to make plays with his legs, how to extend plays with his legs, how to still be able to pass the ball. Or, hey, let's tuck it and run. Let's do what we got to do and make it happen. Let's set up Najee and Jalen so they get the opportunity. Let's get George the ball. Let's get Van the ball. It's numerous things come from Russ. And I think, as I stated before, like, you know, I let me correct myself. He was 16 of 29, 264 yards, the 2 passing touchdowns and only 1 sack, by the way. But when you got that type of play and you're rusty, what's it going to look like when he's really hot? When he's really cooking, you know, when he sees a bad defense like the Commanders in a couple weeks, and he's really got
I am so glad we play the Giants and then the Commanders, because it gives us an opportunity, you know, especially after the bye week when we play the Commanders, gives us an opportunity to kind of get where we need to be and everybody get a little bit more comfortable with rest.
It's gonna. I definitely can see that, because look, you know, everybody's talking about the last part of our schedule. It's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be fun. But when you got a guy that's making those kinds of plays offensively, and our defense is crazy, like, and it's not just TJ, like that, like actually
it's everybody.
They quailed TJ. Like, I don't know that he got a sack Sunday night.
No, he was doubled most of the game. When he wasn't doubled, he got close.
Yeah, they were.
But they did a good job. The Jets line, they did a great job at keeping him off of Aaron Rodgers.
But you know what? The fun thing about that was we got Alex Highsmith back, and so Highsmith was beating that left tackle one-on-one. So now you can't slide to TJ, and so it makes it so much better. But very, very excited about the possibilities for us. Like, just honestly,
I got a hot take.
Uh-oh. our Mr. Details angry hot take. Let's have it from our very.
I cannot wait to play y'all in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Your defense will get exposed.
I'm excited for this.
Your defense will get exposed.
Good.
So y'all haven't played an actual rushing QB this year at all. Everybody's been in the pocket.
But who has the defense been playing this year on our team in practice? Because you know the Steelers actually have padded practice. We've been playing Justin Fields. They'll be ready.
I don't think so.
Justin Fields, if he can't do nothing else, that boy can run without question. Now, I will admit that Jaden is an outstanding quarterback. And I really hope that they do a better job of keeping him protected, because he's special, and more importantly, he's going to be a bane, a thorn in the side of the Cowboys for years to come. So I definitely hope they do a good job of keeping him safe and upright, except for 2 weeks from now, when I don't know that they're going to.
He's small though, so I'm hoping he needs to put on like a good 15-20 pounds on the off season, because the NFL game is just a lot faster than college. Everybody's good on the NFL level, and I just see when we play them, I just can see him going down.
Bigger, stronger. We've heard a lot of people,
but he's great. I want this kid to do good.
I'm excited for him. So speaking of the Commanders, I gotta talk a little bit about this 1 versus 2 matchup. So this is my first game of the week in the pros, because I'm excited for 1 versus 2. I thought that Jaden was going to come out. He was in a better situation, believe it or not, than Caleb. I also had lots of questions about what I thought about Caleb and what he would do and the type of leader he would be. And he's been better than I expected. I will say that. But I think this week is going to be telling as to what both teams will have for their future, because the Bears do have a really, really good defense. But look, and you're a Commanders fan. Tell me what you've seen, what you're expecting this week.
Look, so what I look forward to is having a nice cold beer. I have the day off. Just tell you, I get to go to my buddy's house. We're grilling out, cooking some food on the grill. He's a Chicago Bears fan. I'm a Washington fan. Since me and this guy have been friends, we have legitimately gone and we've watched every single game for the last 3 years. We watched together. Bears, Commanders. Doesn't matter if our teams are doing crappy or not. We get together. So what I love and I look forward to it. It's not at 12 o'clock anymore. They changed the time to 3:25, which is really dope. So that's prime time game. But I look forward to seeing what I want to see what Caleb does against against our front four. I like Caleb a lot. I think Caleb is one of those quarterbacks that if you get he's like you remember J.R. Smith?
Yeah.
Remember, like, you get him going, he's like, streaky shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I
You know
had
what
to
I
do
mean?
that. I had to do the LeBron. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That was classic. I'm sorry. That was classic.
Nah, perfect time for it too. Perfect time. But I just feel like, man, Caleb Williams is one of those guys that I've noticed in the offense, that he's running. He reminds me of J.R. Smith playing basketball. The way he plays ball, and it's like, look, man, you get him an opportunity to shoot, and he gets that first or two, man, he can throw, he can lights out, give you 20 points. I feel that's what you can get out of Caleb Williams in a basketball reference. You can get 15, 20 completions straight from this guy. Like, he's not going to make bonehead plays. He's learning to use his offensive line, knowing their weaknesses, knowing when he can run and when he can't run. He's doing something I didn't think he'd be able to understand this year, and he's shocked me a lot. Watching his gameplay. It's going to be a very fun 3:25 kickoff. It's going to be a very fun. I'm going to be very loud. I don't know if I should wear my Sean Taylor jersey or my Cameron Curl jersey.
You got a curl?
Yeah, man. I got a Cameron Curl, man.
That's great. That's fantastic. Did you see his touchdown last week?
I did.
I was super, super excited to see him get that opportunity to score a touchdown.
It bothers me that we got rid of him. He was a great free safety. I think he played really well. He was starting to come into his own, and that's the problem. And I get it. I get the NFL's a business. I get these leagues are a business. But if you can't give these guys, who are finally getting their feet wet, you're like, oh, he's now starting something, but now we have to pay him next year. Yeah. It maybe takes 3 or 4 years for a guy to get acclimated to be really that good. I mean, not everybody learns something different. They learn differently. They don't learn the same way, and I feel like some of these guys coming out of college, they don't get an opportunity to learn to play. You got guys coming redshirt, sophomores and juniors coming out. They wait 3 years before they can show. They ain't played or touched nothing. But they wait 3 or 4 years before they can decide that, that they finally understand what the game is and how to play. It takes 3 to 4 years if we notice. That's why they say 4-year college.
Yeah. It's the game is so much faster. And more than the game being fast, the players themselves are bigger and stronger and also faster. Like, not just bigger or stronger, all three. So, like, it's a game of development. It seems like sometimes they pass up. They don't wait for development, especially at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Valencia, you were talking about your, LeBron James and all of that, and it kind of just made me, want to jump ahead to something. When you watch Patrick Mahomes, okay, he is right now what you consider the LeBron James of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go nowhere without knowing who the hell Patrick Mahomes is. At all. And we're not even going to talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. We're really going to actually sit down. And I want to ask you something. The Chiefs now are what, 6-0, right?
6-0.
Do you think they still have lost an edge? Do you think do you think the stardom, even though he's making they're winning games with no wide receiver core, but he's making bonehead plays that you wouldn't expect a guy of his caliber to be making? Will you think that's a lot more pressure? And I'm asking you, Valencia, do you think that's a lot more pressure on Patrick as the years unfold to still be dominant? Or is there something else?
I honestly think because he's already won, as long as they keep winning, it's fine. Because his statistics right now, last week were basically the same as Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you keep winning, wins always suppress statistics. That's what I say. Like, you can have 4 rings and be like, you know what, this year I threw 30 touchdowns and 25 interceptions. No one's going to care about that. They're going to be like, he has 5 rings. It doesn't matter. He has 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
But for them, they're a team like how we'll just use my team, the Steelers used to be. You figure out a way to win at the right time. If you're down by a touchdown, if you're down by whatever, 10 points, you're going to figure out a way to win, and you're going to capitalize on another team making a mistake. And that's what they've been doing. They've been capitalizing on teams making mistakes at the end. Or, of course, I think they should be 4-2. The refs helped them out on 2 games, but that's none of my business. But yeah, they should be easily 4-2, but they capitalize on those mistakes from teams. Like a lot of what tends to happen is like teams get turnovers, like how we used to do. Our defense would get a turnover, then our offense would go back on the field and not capitalize on the other team's mistakes. They're capitalizing on other teams' mistakes, and that's why they're winning football games.
All the time. Like it was so, you just sent me into PTSD. Like, oh my gosh, like we would get the ball. If the defense didn't score, sometimes there would not be. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. My bad. All right.
I'm stressed out about the whole situation. When we were playing the Cowboys, I'm like, dang, defense is going 3 and out, making plays. Like, this defense is playing phenomenal. Our offense comes on 3 and out, 3 and out. 3 and out. I'm like, what else can the defense do?
Like, they literally, like, I thought about it. So Dante Jackson, who's been an outstanding addition to our team, and I'm so sad we had to sacrifice the life of Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers for him, but it was necessary, my friend. Rest in peace, Juice Man.
It was necessary, but he did get beat on that 4th and 10 in the Cowboys game, that last play of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, but they did all they could do the whole game. I wasn't even mad. So
he had that pick. He had that pick in the red zone.
I feel like you guys have, and I'm going to say this again. I'm going to say this again. And I've been saying this. I've been telling you, you guys are the Ravens 2.0. You know why I say that?
It's okay.
You have a game manager now. Same thing. You got a Justin Fields, but you got a guy who can make all the right plays now, make the right throws.
Yeah.
He's not going to get you 300-400 yards passing. He's just going to manage the game. He's going to get the ball to the spot where it needs to be.
Yep.
But your defense is going to keep you in games, and that's what kept you in the game against the Jets. As I said, you guys are the Ravens of 2000.
Why can't we be the Buccaneers of 2002? Why do we got to be the Ratbirds?
Because that defense, if you look at it, they solidified history by winning a Super Bowl with a Trent Dilfer who did nothing as a QB.
The Giants of '99.
No, that's disgusting. Don't ever look.
Yeah, I think let's see how these next couple of weeks go. I think
exactly. Say it again. The next couple of weeks. Oh yeah, we're coming for you.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what. To your point, and the last time that the last time that the Commanders came to play the Steelers,
we beat you guys.
They ruined our undefeated streak, and more important than them beating us was they hurt Bud Dupree. And that was kind of like then after that this was when we had to thrust Highsmith in, and he was not ready at all. It actually took him another year and a half before he became like very prominent. And our defense went to swear jar. Bring me up one for the swear jar. Our defense went to shit after Bud went down, because then they could slide the line and double team and chip. And one of the things I saw, the best ways, and this was what I expected from Russ, but the best way to stop a good pass rusher like TJ in particular is you got to get rid of the ball quickly. And we did see that in the beginning portions with Aaron Rodgers. But that's exactly how it happened. Speaking of getting rid of the ball quickly, our main man, the Blue Report, Byron Johnson, said that Russ is better for Pittsburgh. He's spot on, man. They've been perfect for us. Having Russ with us. I do want to ask you this before we go to break, though, Valencia. Ant brought up Taylor and Taylor's boyfriend, who is ruining my fantasy league. Do you feel like we could maybe get some of that same kind of love for Sierra?
Exactly, because I'd much rather see Sierra on the thing. Like, can we actually show people who are married?
Yeah.
Instead of girlfriends? That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yo, they put her in the game. You know that, right? Did you know they put her in Madden 25? They put Taylor
really?
Swift. So if you score
Wow.
a touchdown with Travis Kelce, right, and in Kansas City at Arrowhead Stadium, this is no lie. A buddy of mine sent me a clip of this, and I was like, "There's no way, man. There's just no way." They put her in the game. They show Travis Kelce getting a touchdown. He does his little dancing, whatever, and then the camera veers off to the box seats, and you see Taylor screaming, going like this, wearing Kelce's jersey. It's wild to me.
It's awful. It's awful. Get me
This is
some
wild.
Sierra shots.
That is
We
wild.
need Sierra
I would
time.
see Sierra or Lil Future.
All right.
Yo, before we go to break, hey Valencia, man, let everybody know where they can find you out, and let them know rates, things like that. You know what you do.
Okay, so my gym is located in Houston, Texas. My gym is open 24/7 for members. The gym membership is $45 a month. It's pretty private. I have independent personal trainers here. I actually have a small barber shop inside too. And then I have a nonprofit for people who are morbidly obese. But if you're in Houston, Texas, drop on by. You can find us at 5vFit on Instagram or my personal page at VBigBalla5.
VBigBalla status. Here we go. So
I love that.
That is beautiful that we get the opportunity to work with you. And I'm learning more and more, which is very, very cool. This has been a blast. I'm sorry. Let me not ramble. But thank you to everybody that's joined us here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
Yes.
We got more to come after this. We're gonna take a short break. Y'all stay with us here on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Here we go. Welcome back to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. I'm your man Blocker. I do have the angry Puerto Rican with me. I got the world's best personal trainer, Valencia Higgins, the VBigBalla. But I gotta tell y'all about my good friends over at Mr. Details. They are our angry hot take sponsor. And look, if you're tired of seeing dirt and grime on your vehicle, let Mr. Vehicle give you a shout, right? Oh shoot. He's got Mr. Detail is a top-notch detail company that will leave your car sparkling like new. Whether it's a full exterior wash, interior vacuuming, or even premium waxing, Mr. Detail's got you covered with their expert staff, the top-of-the-line products. You can trust that your vehicle will receive the best care possible. So don't settle for a dirty car any longer. Call Mr. Detail today. That's 479-283-1636. That's 479-283-1636. Call Mr. Detail and don't worry about nothing. So shout out to our super awesome sponsors. And we're very excited at the opportunity to get to work with them. You got a speaking of partners, you got a partner with you right now, huh, V?
Hillary.
Hey guys.
What up, man? Welcome to the Fanatic Sports Podcast. You're famous now. Tell your mom.
I'm gonna get it on my t-shirt. I'm famous now.
So, you know, we are like we're kind of in a special time, right? Like we talked about it earlier. This is the coolest thing I think I you know, if I could think of any reason that I would want to say that LeBron is the best of the best, I gotta go with this fact, right? You know, he's won rings, he's done all this other stuff, all-time leader in scoring, all of that, outstanding. That's all that's gonna be broken. I don't know that we're gonna see a father play with his son in the NBA for a very long time, and that even includes the fact that a lot of these kids are coming out like at 19, you know, not just a year after LeBron came out. But I think it feels like this was in the works from the jump. And because I know that LeBron is so calculated in everything he's done pretty much throughout his career.
That's Capricorn for you right there. Calculated.
That is gotta be like this feels, you know, I remember, so V, we're all in around the same age to where I don't know if you remember this, right? When somebody bought LeBron's mom that Hummer, the infamous Hummer.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, do we know that this guy's going to be, you know, whatever? Because there's been so many 6'8" guards that have come out straight out of high school that were terrible. And at that particular moment in 2002, you know, Kobe was finally kind of taking his ascent to like stardom, but it took a while for the plane to get off the runway with
Right.
him. So I was, you know, even though I really liked what I had seen from him in his ESPN games, I still wasn't sure, you know, but looking all that way back, and then shortly after that, you know, I think it was right after that, his rookie season, that was the year that LeBron or that Bronny was born or something like that. But
Right.
Who, you know, like this tops the cake, you know, like if you really sit and think about it, right? So I made the post a while back, and I may rehash it since Bronny did play with LeBron, which I honestly feel like it won't be too long before he hits the G League after this. But they clearly wanted to make this history, and it's dope that even they got to that point.
Right.
You know, like because so Marcus, was it Marcus or Jeffrey that was actually one of them averaged 15. I think it was Marcus, the younger one, Jordan.
Oh, at Illinois, or you talking about in the G League?
And at UCF, they both had pretty decent careers, but one of them, the one with the glasses, I think is the one who actually was like balling. He had a decent year when his brother got there, but neither one of them were like super impressive. And it wasn't like they didn't blow you out of the water. Like we knew that like the oldest boy got his scholarship because, matter of fact, he didn't get a scholarship. He walked on at Illinois, right? Like he was, which for what it's worth, I think the year that he walked on to Illinois, I think that was around the time that like Darren Williams was there, and they were like really, really good and had been to a bunch of Final Fours and maybe won a ring or
I
something.
met that team, or not, with Darren Williams and D Brown. I have a picture with D Brown. We the Illini, and we were at the in Oregon at the Pepe. We played the Oregon girls, and then Illinois played the Oregon guys, and they had this thing at Nike, and I met all those guys. It was actually pretty cool.
That's pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that's the thing. Like, even the fact that an organization like the Lakers, one who does not need any extra clippings to be known. They're known worldwide, but they certainly don't pass up on them either. But for them to take this opportunity to go and draft Bronny, right, and then put him on the squad, he got to play, and look, it was an up and down, but I felt like a solid preseason for a 55th pick. It wasn't like Bronny was the 5th pick in the draft. He was 50th.
And we know that people who get picked in the second round are typically on the G team. So I don't know why everyone was making a big deal. Like, years past, if you get picked in the second round, you're in the G League. Yeah, if you get good over the year, they'll pull you up. If there's injuries, they'll pull you up.
But see, here's where I play devil's advocate on that.
Okay.
All right. And I'm gonna be honest. Okay, yeah, it's great that they got rid of the game one. They got the hoorah out of it. All right, yeah, he's going to the G League. Yes, okay, we all know that. But he's got a guaranteed contract for 3 years. What second round player gets a guaranteed contract for 3 years? None.
What second round player do you know that who's there? Yeah, it's a nepotism.
For me, it's like, yeah, it's family ties. It's like, if I have a kid, they don't have to love the gym, but guess what they're getting? The gym. It's just like Jerry Jones. His family will run that team, and they're never going to be great, but it's family ties.
And I get that, and I understand the history, and I understand that it was historic. But at the end of the day, are we really gonna sit here and just keep giving more clippings, as you like to say, more clippings to the Clippers?
I think he'll go. It was just a one and done. JJ Redick said, "Let's get it over with, get the media done."
Get out of the way.
And now he's going back down to the G League. He's done, and he's not going to come back up unless he proves himself to be good. Now the money thing, I feel like with any big team, whether it's NBA, NFL, you're gonna, just like the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, you have money to pay players whomever you want. Other teams like the Steelers, we're not paying you, so we have to figure out a way to be good on our own.
Yep.
So they can pay him 3 years and it not really cost them anything.
Didn't LeBron take a pay cut?
No.
To come back?
No.
I think he's making 55 this year, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is a pay cut for him. He signs 1 year deals for the last 6 years.
60.
But he didn't sign a 1 year deal. It's a 2 year. It's a 2 year. It's a 2 year extension. It's a 2 year extension for him to stay.
Right. So that means he's gonna be here another 3 years, and guess who gets drafted in another 3 years? Right. Go on, y'all. Y'all ain't no real fans.
So I know, even with that,
I didn't want to answer or respond to that. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to respond because I'm tired of this LeBron and Bronny crap, man. I'm over it. I'm over it.
I'm not gonna say I'm over it. It's great for sports. It's great for
who?
Your father.
Great for who?
Huh?
Who? Great for who?
It's great for sports. This doesn't happen. So it happened during the Ken Griffey Jr. era. It happens during LeBron's era. It may happen in another 30 years. So it's not going to happen again. It may not happen during our time again. It may not. So in another 30 years, probably for baseball, it'll happen again. But now, because players in football, after your third year, you can go get to the draft. And in the NBA, you have to play 2 years in college, right?
Yep. 1 year, which it needs to be 2 years, honestly. But yes, right now.
Yeah, so you're going to be a lot older as opposed to a kid coming straight out of high school and having a kid. We're not going to see that again. Baseball, you can play for 20, 30 years if you want to. So we may see it in baseball again, but I don't think we're going to see it.
We won't tell anybody what's in this cup. But
you got your drink and your two-step.
Yeah, exactly. We won't tell anybody what's in this cup, but I just want to say, look, I like your takes on sports. You bring a different kind of energy towards with your opinions and things like that. You're very knowledgeable, and I like that. I love you. I love having you as a guest on here. This is dope. Like,
very, very excited.
and
Very
you know,
excited.
we're talking about that, but now I gotta veer away with some questions of my own for you.
All
Fire
right.
All right.
away.
Talk about your journey. Like, you know, what was your journey like? Before doing, you basically have a gym, you're a business owner, you have a charity, you're running a charity, things like that. Like, talk about how that has, talk about the journey from the start to now.
So I'll just make it quick because I have a long journey. After I graduated Prairie View in 2006, I moved out to the Bay Area. So I lived in San Jose from 2006 to the very end of 2019. I moved out here to Texas to open the gym. My gym opened January of 2020.
Yeah.
And
During
then
COVID or right before COVID.
yeah, right before COVID. And then I closed in March, 2 months later, and I was closed for 3 months. And then I reopened in June. So that was my first big hole. So opening up a business, coming to a city unknown, starting all over. I was a top trainer. I'm not gonna lie, I was the person at my gym.
Best trainer in the
At
world.
my country club. Like I'm actually a pretty damn good trainer. I've been doing this for 18 years. I'm just gonna toot my own horn because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, amen.
It's a confidence thing. But I came out here, opened a gym, closed, reopened. In December of 2022, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So I have an autoimmune disease now. I wish I could flash a picture up, but this is in my podcast. I had lost like 30 pounds. I build my weight back up. I'm giving myself 2 years to completely get back to normal. But now I'm operating a gym. I'm operating a nonprofit. And I have a whole autoimmune disease that takes control of my life every day. Like a lot of people think Crohn's disease is, oh, you just use the bathroom a lot, but it's a lot more than that. I have a lot of GI.
A whole lot more.
Versus just using the bathroom. But I've been able to heal myself and get into remission because of my knowledge in health and nutrition and knowing my body, knowing that this disease is different for everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
You talk about your fight, with Crohn's disease and things like that. And for a lot of people who don't know, it is an autoimmune system disease. I have a couple friends that actually suffer from it. It's something that just is uncontrollable. Certain things you eat to certain things you don't eat has a major effect on how your body responds to it. So shout out to you for that. I definitely want to ask you, you say battling the Crohn's disease and things like that. How has that fight helped you, with what you got going on now, and how does it help you every day?
Well, to be completely honest, when I got sick, I was like, you know what? I'm sick, but I'm not a 5-year-old that has cancer or AIDS. I'm not, a 7-year-old that you see in the commercials with the bald head. I'm old enough to understand and old enough to take control of my life.
Don't talk about my bald head, man.
Hey, you better put that cap back on.
I'm sorry. I gotta make light of. Look, I'm one of those. I gotta make light of situations because I feel like laughter is the best remedy to everything.
Yeah,
and just getting to meet you today, and hearing it, it's kind of dope to hear. And I want to hear more about it. But I like to make jokes. I'm sorry, but yeah, man. Let me put my cap back on. But
it's definitely day to day.
All right, we're gonna stick with the Knicks on this one.
Everything in life is day to day. I'm not going to sit here and feel sorry for myself because I know that there's people going through a lot more issues than me. So I just have to live and deal with it. And your life is a little bit different. Like I was telling my client earlier yesterday when I got off, I went to Smoothie King. I don't know if you guys have that.
We got one down here.
So I went to Smoothie King and I get the same thing I get every time, a peanut power plus. And I get them to sub my drink with almond milk instead of the milk because milk upsets my stomach. And then I don't think they substituted my almond milk yesterday because when I get home at night, I had gas off the wazoo, like meaning it wasn't appropriate to be around me for like 5 hours last night. Because I was just having gas because I think they put dairy into my my protein drink. And then this morning when I woke up, my stomach emptied out, meaning I lost probably like 3 pounds of poop, which is a lot. Like
That's a
one
whole
minute
lot.
I can weigh 166, the next minute I can be 160 that fast.
Wow.
And then your energy is, you know, like sometimes when you have to sit down on the toilet and you have a great movement and you're just like, I'm dead, I'm tired, I emptied out all my, that happens a lot to me. When I eat complete meals, I know the next hour or so I'm probably going to be going to the bathroom. And then the thing is, when you're in a flare up, anything that you eat is going to bug your stomach, even if you drink water. That's just the nature of the autoimmune disease. But with this disease, everybody is so different. I think mine came on because of my family history. Like my dad has colitis. So I think he passed those traits down to me. And I think with the business, stress, you know, the end of 2022, my property owners were like, we're going to charge you for the months you were closed. I was only open 2 months. Why would you do that? You know, like, so they charged me for the months I was closed. And then I had what I call healthy people health insurance because I was healthy. There was nothing wrong with me. And then all this stuff started happening. I was paying out of pocket for so much stuff that I ended up using like $70,000 in the month of December. That's stressful.
Oh yeah. That's
that
very
money could have been
stressful.
used to other stuff, you know, that I have been putting away. So now I'm in a state of, okay, let me be poor for a while. I need to resave because I don't have any money. You know, like for me, it's since I've been a gym owner, I've been uncomfortable. I was living in the Bay Area, the Silicon Valley. It never felt uncomfortable and it's expensive out there. So I come here to Texas, which is a lot cheaper. And I feel uncomfortable the last 5 years. Not a good feeling, you know?
Yeah. And that, but you know, the best part is that you're hanging on to it. It's been kind of my mantra for the last 3 or 4 weeks now is that, you know, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And that's something that I feel like has been it's been in my spirit, and it's been something that has been proven time and again, just because there's so much that goes on you know, throughout the course of this journey of working with, you know, building this podcast and wondering about the numbers and, you know, making sure that everybody's stories are being told. And listen, it's a lot of work a lot of work to do this thing. So I'm right there with you. It's a struggle, and everybody's got it. It's an everyday struggle. Thank you, Future. But
I got it. Yeah, man. I got another one.
Yeah, shoot, man.
I'm all about questions now, man. I got a chance to kind of, you know, see who you were, you know, the first hour and a half, man. So it's kind of dope. So this is where all the questions arise, you know, a little bit with me. You know, talk about your proudest moment and then against your toughest moment in your life.
I would say my proudest moment is it's hard to say. So when I graduated college at 22, 1 week later I was in the Bay Area. I had $200 and something in my account.
Ooh.
That's not a lot of money. I was broke coming out of college.
No, it is not.
But I knew that I had a check coming because I was an assistant basketball coach for San Jose State women's basketball.
Nice.
And I was able to get that job. And we'll rewind back to Cynthia Cooper was my coach my very last year at Prairie View.
That's dope.
And then she was there for an additional 3 seasons. So Coop was able to write me an outstanding letter of recommendation saying, this girl will be great for your job, you know, to be an assistant coach.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to interview for the job. They're like, she's hired. That's easy. Dope. So I took a chance. And I'm not coaching anymore. I could have coached. I know basketball really good, like the X's and O's.
Yeah.
But coaching wasn't my thing. Health and fitness was my thing. I just needed something to get me out to California.
That doesn't sound like that. You found it. Talk a little bit about your playing days. How about a proudest moment from your playing days?
It's so long ago that I just don't. Oh, okay. Well, it's not really a proud moment, but I'll just give you.
You act like you old.
Right. I'll give you guys, but that'll be.
You ain't old.
2 years. It'll be 20 years ago.
But you ain't old.
No, it was 20. It was 2 decades ago.
Look, 40s, look, Valencia, 40 is the new 20. You ain't know? I know you got that memo.
It is.
We got to teach the young pup over here that being 40, when you hit 40, you're still young.
I got a long ways to go.
So I will say it won't be related to basketball, but I'll give you two stories real fast because I know we have to go. But I played basketball whenever we got to go home for a week during the season, like during the holidays, and we would come back and have 2-a-days because our coach thought we got out of shape just going home for a few days. So we were running 4x4s on the court where you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we run deep 16s halfway. I saw that our post players were dying, like they were tired. So when I got to the line, I acted like I fainted.
Wow.
That's a
Yeah.
good teammate. That's an
I
awesome
acted like I fainted.
That is the greatest
Everybody
flop.
yelling at me.
That is
Everybody was like, "Get up, B! Get your mother ass up!" You
Yo,
know, they
that
were
is-
like mad
that-
that I fake fainted because I was trying to save them.
Yo,
That's
that's
a
the
good
greatest
teammate.
flop never called. That is dope.
It was a bad flop.
That was
Look,
but that's still the greatest. Hey, look, I'm gonna take one for the team.
That's a
Yeah.
good teammate. Like, I wish that. Look, when I played basketball, when we had to do conditioning like that, they would do. You remember Snake? All right, so where everybody runs and then the back person's got to go to the front.
Yeah.
Oh, the guards when I ran would run faster. Like, I'm not built for speed. I'm built for power anyways. Like, come on, y'all. Like, don't y'all want to get this done? It's been a long practice anyway. No, I get it now. Like,
look, but that's dope though. That's really dope. I'm not gonna lie, that's really dope. I mess around with that.
Here for the gym? Yeah. Sign up for a membership? Yeah. Okay. Give me 1 second.
We're already.
I have someone here to sign up for a membership.
That's okay. It was wrap time. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Really was a blast.
Valencia, thank you.
Really
all right,
was
you
a
guys
blast.
take care.
Thank
You
so
as well.
much.
Send me those deets if you want that. You want that salsa.
I will. We'll get your information from him.
All right, I got you.
Gotcha.
So, hey man, that was dope. Like, and I kind of figured that was the move with her. Like, she's super knowledgeable. Not just like, oh, I love the colors, or I'm a Steelers fan because of whoever, right? Like, legitimately get in
when
there.
did this show decide to become a Steelers show? I feel like 90% of this show was all about the Steelers. This is bad.
And now I have to go. So it wasn't playing this way.
This wasn't a fun week for me, y'all out there. This was not a fun week. I got to talk about the Steelers. I had to listen to two people talk about the Steelers for 90 minutes of the show.
Where's your Steelers friend? I know you got a couple.
I have a couple. He's one of my he's my coworker, man. And the date that I'm going on Saturday, she's for this wedding, she's a Steelers fan too. So I just can't get away from it, man. I just can't.
Perfect. You can join the light.
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know where my commander's hat is, man. Somewhere.
Oh, good. Well, look, so
we didn't get a chance to talk about this real quick. I want to throw this out there real quick, man. Shout out to all the sponsors out there. I definitely want to shout out to the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers for making the World Series. My team fought hard. The Mets, they fought to tooth and nail, man. They made it a fun series. But when you spend $1 billion on better players and you got the money to do it, I mean, coach of the year should go to Carlos Mendoza. No, hands down. He definitely should get that. I don't like the snob play on Lindor not getting an actual Gold Glove. But hopefully he gets that MVP. He deserves to be NL MVP because without him, man, we probably would have never been where we were this year. So shout out to that. It's probably gonna be one of the most watched World Series in a very long time. I got the Yankees in 6.
Yeah, I got the Yankees in 6. I would like to say the Dodgers are gonna really do it. JT, I'm sorry, man. The Dodgers, that Yankees lineup is crazy. That Yankees lineup is wild, and I saw it firsthand as a Royals fan. But look, man, we just hit the 2-hour mark, and so before we go, I need you to tell me about El Chefe, the food truck in Northwest Arkansas.
Oh, wow, I could definitely do that, man. I definitely could do that. Well, El Chefe Mexican Cuisine is a family-owned and operated restaurant located at the Springdale Municipal Airport On the second floor, they specialize in authentic Mexican cuisine. Some of their top sellers are the quesadilla plate and the triple OG, which is a triple stack quesadilla. Outdoor seating available with up close views of the plains. Contact us at 479-334-7410 for to-go orders. DoorDash available for surrounding areas. And you know what's funny? This man is Manny Gonzalez is a Cowboys fan. And he got on my post. He got on my post and got up there, man. And, then he calls me about, a little later on. It was like, 12:30, 1 o'clock. I had just got off work. So we were, I was still up. We having a conversation. We're talking about the Cowboys. And he's like, why you got to make fun of my Cowboys? I said, because I'm a Washington fan, buddy. And that's just how this is going to go.
Yo, man, that's the beauty of this thing, man. It's the beauty of sports and what we're doing. But definitely shout out to Manny, and I can't wait. I'm gonna be back. I think next month is what I'm hoping for. And when I come back, man, we definitely going to get the triple deckers. That's what it's called. The one with
the triple OG, man.
We're going to go get that joint. Well, look, man, to everybody, got to give a shout out to my girl Valencia. She did a fantastic job. If you're in H-Town and you're trying to get either build a booty, if you're trying to just stay fit, tone up, I don't know if you could tell, was a professional builder as well, like bodybuilder as well. Like she's done it all. When she says she's damn good, she's still underrating herself. But definitely a shout out to Valencia. Shout out to everybody that checked us out. And definitely a shout out to the backbone behind the show, the man, the angry Puerto Rican himself,
Appreciate
Anthony
you,
Roman, man. As I always say, man, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Thank y'all so much for watching the fantastic Fanatic Sports Podcast here on the Fanatic Sports Network.